来视频，打抽丝麻将，来报警啊！我们现在是录视频报警的，麻将全是抽丝麻将，看抽丝麻将，每个人看到啊，证据在这里摆在这里，还有一个，全部都是抽丝麻将。
回家打开的。
来，全部看一下啊！报警！
Pay attention to this, cause Valentine's Day coming up too. This Dove's chocolate right here. She extracting the worms out with an ink pen. Happy Valentine's Day.
After 64 years of living in Texas, he's never seen ice like this. It's normal every year that they would use a method like this to melt ice around their property.
That's crazy.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, that's gonna make us question everything. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Let's seek the truth.
But there are a lot of good things happening in the world right now. This piece of artwork was stolen from Poland in World War II and was missing for 70 years before recently showing up at a Danish auction. It has since been donated to the Polish authorities. For nearly 2 decades, Christian Bale has been helping build a $22 million foster village that's designed to help keep orphan siblings together. Actor Daniel Henney has helped rescue 67 dogs from a dog meat farm in South Korea that has been operating for more than 40 years. Every single dog that was rescued is now safe and starting a new life. There are students at a private school in Detroit who are regularly volunteering to carry coffins for unhoused people and veterans who don't have anybody to attend their funerals. Norway's Sovereign Wealth Fund just hit $2 trillion, earning the title of the world's largest pension fund, which basically means every Norwegian citizen effectively owns around $340,000 of this.
They playing dog sounds in the hood to keep people in psychosis?
Proof that they are playing dog sounds in a hood to keep the people in psychosis.
Listen. They're trying to find the dog. There is no dog.
Yeah, I'll see you one. I'll see you one.
And if you play the video back, it sounds like the barking is coming from a literal speaker. Like, remember that movie They Clone Tyrone? If you haven't seen it, go watch it. After you watch that movie, this video makes a lot more sense. Stay weird.
Check this out, man. This is why I don't fuck with people cooking my food now. This shit is nasty. If he don't get a goddamn napkin and wipe his nose, like, why?
Please.
What's the purpose of this? And it's gonna be somebody still eat this shit. Nasty ass niggas on photo grade. Shit is crazy.
The doomsday clock has been updated to 85 seconds to midnight. Now let's address the first question. What does to midnight mean? So when a nuclear bomb is launched, they count down to midnight. So they say 5 seconds to midnight, 4 seconds to midnight. Midnight is boom boom town, right? So what the doomsday clock is saying is that we are 85 seconds away from self-annihilation. So the doomsday clock only takes into account factors that we have created ourselves, like climate change or AI or things of that nature. This year, they introduced something called mirror life. What the fuck is mirror life? It's exactly what it sounds like, babe. It's when life is refracted. Have you ever seen the movie Annihilation, where there's that shimmer area, right? And when they go into the shimmer, their DNA gets refracted and their insides start to change and their DNA changes, right? And they can't adjust to this shimmer area. Biology is backwards in the shimmer, right? Plants start taking on animal qualities. Animals start taking on plant qualities. Everything is all backwards. That shit's real. Mirror life is real. And the doomsday scientists are concerned about it. It's like Pandora's box. Pandora doesn't go back in. Shit's wild.
Literally counting down, bro. Self-destruction, man. That doomsday clock theory. That's eerie, man. Should I keep going down that rabbit hole for you guys?
打抽丝麻将，来报警啊！我们现在是录视频报警的，麻将全抽丝麻将，看抽丝麻将。
That's next level cheating,
证据
bro.
在这里，摆在这里，还有一个，全部都是抽丝麻将。来，全部看一下啊！报警！来，全部都是麻将。
Oh, she need that bread, bro. By any means necessary. perfect match.
Landlocked Bermuda Triangle. So there's this region in Nevada called the Nevada Triangle where people and planes disappear. Guess how many planes have gone missing and or crashed in the Nevada Triangle? 2,000. But this area, this Nevada Triangle, parts of it are the Sierra Nevada mountains, and there's also part of it which is Area 51. But there's this one story in particular, Steve Fawcett. This dude was like this adventurer. He goes flying one day in this Nevada Triangle region, disappears.
Dang.
Never heard from.
No crash site, no nothing?
Nothing. They searched the area tens of hundreds of miles. They just combed it. And then there was one hiker a year later was walking and he stepped on something. It was the Steve Fawcett's ID. And he's like, what? And then a mile or so away from that, there was 2 bones found. And those bones belonged to Steve Fawcett. And then they found the plane. But while they found this plane, they found 8 planes that they never knew disappeared.
How does that happen?
There's a couple of theories. Around Area 51, they do a lot of technical jamming of like coordination, GPS jamming and stuff that would mess with people.
Yeah, maybe if we do a Vegas trip, we're driving.
How does Bermuda Triangle get this huge reputation, and yet we don't hear anything about this?
Maybe because of Amelia Earhart.
Well, some people speculate she also disappeared in the Nevada Triangle.
Instead of the Bermuda Triangle?
Yeah, I don't know why they get that.
Wouldn't it be crazy if the only thing keeping Crocs in business is people's lack of knowledge as to what they're made of? And I'm not even joking, and this extends past just Crocs, but let's start with them, because this is absolutely insane, especially when you consider so many children are wearing these with bare feet all the time. So highly toxic lead and phthalates, which are such potent endocrine disruptors, fertility disruptors, it's freaking crazy, were found in rubber boots and shoe charms intended for use on Crocs, and Crocs themselves. So even those cute little bumblebee you jam in the hole on the freaking Croc, even that is like completely toxic. But here's the crazy part. It says here that they did a wipe test, which is just wiping it, and it produced roughly 5 times the allowable daily amount of these toxins for infants. So I thought it was just if you're bare feet in Crocs, like that's bad. Your foot's sweating, the warmth of your foot is like activating these chemicals, you're absorbing them right into the soles of your feet. But here's the crazy part. It's not just Crocs, it's not just boots. If you go to get any mainstream, I'll tell you, find an organic company, because if you go to a regular store and buy splash pants, winter gear, plastic clothes, polyester, it's not just that it's made of plastic that sucks. It also is coated in PFAS, PFOAs, forever chemicals, which act as water repellent. Now, is wearing Crocs going to completely gimp you? Perhaps not. But what about when you're wearing Crocs, drinking fluoride, eating GMOs, showering in tap water, drinking tap water, eating pesticides, putting your phone to your head, wearing AirPods, sitting next to your Wi-Fi router, brushing with fluoride toothpaste? Like, these things add up. Now, the question is this all just one big coincidence? That everything in our modern world, unless you're specifically seeking out the good stuff, is unfortunately toxic? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
Tell me down below, man. You guys still rocking with your Crocs, bro? I got a pair, man. Ain't all that. I ain't gonna lie. We're gonna have to just let it go, bro. Throw them in the trash, man. We gotta find if we can dodge or sell it, bro. All these companies, man, be putting those whatever they got into those products, man. It's just hurting us. Damn! Oh my God. What's this hair off? How much force does that take?
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have even had that put on my head before I went out to box somebody. It's crazy because mine kind of look like that right now, but I can pull mine. No, but for real, I wouldn't have wore that because, like, as soon as that little piece came up, like, he was more focused on that than actually losing the fight. Like, nah, I just don't understand it. Like, bro, if you don't got it no more, like, you don't got it no more. It's okay. Like, the dude that you fighting bald-headed, I mean, like, come on now. You're gonna sit here and embarrass yourself and potentially lose the fight all because you want some hair on your head. Did you not think that it was gonna get knocked off? First of all, nobody that's boxing wears that on their head. It's a liability. Like, y'all let me know, did he want to lose this fight? Because there's no way that he won this fight after he don't got that knocked off. And everybody was sitting there laughing at him too. The announcers were laughing at it, saying it looked like a cartoon. So do better, man. Do better. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Follow for more.
On your screen, you're seeing a modern method that criminals use to abduct children. Please share this video with your family, friends, and anyone who has kids. This information really matters. In this case, a child was sent by their parents to a small shop nearby to buy a few things. Everything looked completely normal. What most people didn't notice was a car that followed the child and stopped near the store, while the man inside pretended to be just another customer. Now pay close attention to what happens next. The security camera recorded everything. Watch the behavior of the saleswoman. She notices something feels off. Her reaction changes. She senses a small detail that many people would miss, and that awareness makes all the difference. Did you notice it? The door. You might have been looking straight at the screen and still missed the moment it was opened. And that's the point. Distractions are exactly what criminals rely on. Missing a small detail like this can put a child in real danger. This is why awareness is so important.
Yep.
Watch carefully what happens next and type part 2 if you want to see the rest.
Wake up.
And time is an illusion. It doesn't exist. Once you understand that you are the source of everything and that time is an illusion, that you are the creator and creation is finished, you will collapse the time between now and when your desire manifests. Everything you desire to experience is here and now. It exists in different states of visibility or invisibility. And what makes it visible or invisible to you is the frequency and vibration that you are embodying, your knowledge of who you are, and not as an identity, but as the creator. The more you understand yourself as the creator, the more those things that are invisible that you desire to experience that are all here now will become visible to you. Don't ever forget what I just told you. This requires a complete paradigm shift for the way that you have been brainwashed. Okay, well, everything I'm teaching you is the exact opposite of everything you've been brainwashed to believe is true.
Solar flares, man. It's affecting us, bro. Seek the truth, right? That's what I say all the time, man.
Yep, pay attention to this, because Valentine's Day coming up too. This Dove's chocolate right here. She extracting the worms out with an ink pen. Happy Valentine's Day.
We ain't
You know
that.
my mom used to eat Doves. You feel me? I thought it was royalty, exotic. But every time I went to eat, she always had the dark chocolate one. But this the thing about chocolate. Chocolate naturally grows in nature. This the plant right here. It naturally grows in nature. So you could get chocolate. You could make it. It's when they synthetically do things to it. You feel me? And it's the process they use with making it. There's natural sugars on the land. There's natural sweeteners. There's natural, I used to think you can only get the sweet taste from chocolate because I'm plant-based now, So I'm like, damn, I can never have milk chocolate again. I can never have chocolate. But then one time I had an almond chocolate milk bar or something like that, and it was good. You feel me? I'm not gonna buy it every day when we was kids and we buy cookies and cream and Reese's. That stuff's over with, bro. I replaced how I used to buy candy, I want Starburst. No, you really want fruit. You want hydration. They duped us. Oh, bro, I'm craving some Starburst. No, you really want some fruit. You want some candy. You want some fruit, but you think it's candy. Especially in the liquor store, that's why they call it food deserts and stuff. When I want some peaches, you go buy a Snapple. I want an apple, you buy apple juice,
You should just show your face because, I don't know. I want some money, but this is...
What? No, we don't ask... No. No.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Because TikTok Live,
This isn't TikTok Live, this is Instagram.
I know.
So you were
I know.
got it messed up for a second. I thought you were asking me for something.
You...
I'm about to say she wants some money. Ask her mom, bro. She a billionaire. Kid right there, bro.
Had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, and, you know, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so you know, in general, you always have to be careful. And I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation. You know, that's what I get up every day and focus on.
Yeah, I think Kyle officially completed a ritual, y'all. Look at the video with Jaden Smith and Kyle Sinet. Oh, don't worry about the picture. I know them two don't look the same, right? Got the red room going on, bro.
Y'all peep that right there? Are you ready? I can't be the only one who peeped that, bro. Just that in that room, man, the red lights. This looks like something out of a movie scene, man.
It's over. Know what they say about fashion?
Be honest, man. Do you gotta really think Kyle sold his soul, bro? I think he's just working on a freaking new brand. Vivid, that's what he calls it, man. But tell me down below, man. I need to know, did Kyle sell his soul, bro? Or he's just pivoting into a new direction, man. A new direction in his life. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together, man, on a dollar bill. All 13s.
Comment book to learn more about consciousness.
This is wild. An 80-year-old man from England has been sentenced to 16 years in prison after using £2.4 million he won from the lottery to build an underground drug empire, which he built to a valuation of $288 million. What in the Walter White? Pensioner John Spivey, who lives in a quiet rural area just outside of Wigan, won the lottery in 2010. But instead of kicking his feet up and retiring with millions in the bank, the court heard that he decided to purchase a premises, help adapt it, and even bought machinery worth thousands of dollars to make drugs. He then hired 3 men to help out with his operation, one of them being his son. What a great dad. And then for the next decade, John and his small team started flooding the region with millions upon millions of these counterfeit tablets disguised as diazepam. Oh, and on the side, they were also supplying firearms. So eventually, their huge operation was busted. And during the trial, the judge concluded this as the largest production of drugs of this nature that has ever been uncovered by the police. John will be released from prison at the age of 96. Probably gonna run that prison too.
After 64 years of living in Texas, he's never seen ice like this.
I'll show him what we did right there. That's what we did.
We tried to heat the top up to melt the ice off the top of my garage area right here. We're going to see if we can't melt this snow. There's nothing's coming off.
This recent snowstorm.
Plain old day.
It's normal every year that they would use a method like this to melt ice around their property.
That's crazy.
It ain't melting.
That's crazy.
Many people will say, oh, you've never lived in the Midwest and experienced a winter there. But this guy lived in Texas all his life, and he knows.
What's up with this? Well,
That's crazy. I mean, it's melting it now. Okay, there it is.
Now?
You have to put an enormous amount of water to melt this snow.
Heat on it. The fire's blue, bro.
And even then, it's having problems.
Yeah. He's having issues right now.
That's insane.
This should just be turning away.
Got the snow from a weather machine, man. I'm calling it.
Manufactured snow. Manufactured ice.
Y'all notice the difference?
That's insane.
Should be cutting holes at it right now.
That's insane. That's what I was saying. Like, we should have been getting ice all off of there. It should have been done within a matter of minutes.
I'm not around these environments that often, but to me, this looks very strange.
I've never seen anything in 64 years like this. When my daddy was here, he'd tell you the same thing. When you stick it, that kind of heat to an ice cube, it should just melt. Okay? This stuff ain't melting.
That's crazy. That's insane.
This stuff
Ain't melting,
ain't
bro.
melting.
Have to like pick at it.
You gotta ask yourself, why are Princess Diana files sealed until 2082? If it was just a car accident, these files will already be public. Princess Diana died in 1997. That's almost 3 decades ago. And yet, key documents tied to her death are sealed into the year 2082. You heard what I just said? Key documents tied to her death are sealed into the year 2082. So now you gotta ask yourself, what did she see and what does she know? That's not 10 years. That's not 30 years. That's 85 years of silence. That means most people alive today will never see those files. Now you gotta say to yourself, that's not normal. That's not an accident. That's not how transparency works. Governments don't lock files that long unless what's inside them can cause a major problem. And I need you to jump down the rabbit hole. This is for entertainment purposes only. There are claims that Princess Diana believed that the powerful people around her were not what they appeared to be. Allegedly, she came across some information that these people were probably reptiles. And I'm gonna say this without saying it. She allegedly feared that certain elites weren't just corrupt. They were inhuman in behavior, cold, predatory. They were fundamentally different, if you understand what I mean. Now, you got to think about this. Diana wasn't some random woman with theories. She was inside the system. She had access. And if she believed something was wrong, like deeply wrong, that belief didn't come from the internet. That belief came from what she saw. And after she died, you saw the inconsistencies of witnesses. You saw destroyed cameras. They gave us sealed evidence. And they locked the truth away until 2082. Why is that? Pay attention.
News. A woman has landed at JFK Airport with a passport from a country that has never existed in our lifetime.
Authorities at JFK International Airport are in shock. Tonight, a woman arrived from Tokyo carrying a passport from a nation called Terenza, a place that does not exist on any map of our world. The passport was flawless. Biometric chip, perfect holograms, dozens of stamps from countries that also do not exist.
Her documents were perfect, better than perfect. But the country, Terenza, it doesn't exist anywhere.
Witnesses say she looked completely ordinary, like any tourist. But when agents told her Terenza isn't real, she froze, then whispered, "Then this isn't my world."
She asked me, "Is this America?" I said, "Yes, of course." Then she whispered, "America," like she had landed in the wrong place.
Authorities placed her in a secure room under surveillance. She sat calmly for hours. Then she vanished. Cameras show her fading away, like static on a broken television screen. So, who was she? A lost
politician's cloaking device came off and he revealed who he really was. Why?
So he's talking? Listen to his voice.
Okay.
Whoa. Whoa. It sounded a little demonic. He's drinking water to try to fix it, and it's not fixing.
That was insane. I've never heard anyone's voice crack like that.
Me either.
Stay weird.
There's some things you probably didn't know, because I didn't. Brazil is by far the country that takes the most showers every 12 hours on average. This man spent 5 months in jail because no one told him his bail was just $2. The Sahara Desert sends millions of tons of dust every year across the Atlantic to the Amazon rainforest. The dust is full of nutrients like phosphorus and iron, which is what actually keeps the Amazon rainforest alive and green. A woman in 2005 named Susan Bennett spent 4 hours a day recording random phrases and sentences, not knowing the purpose. It wasn't until 2011, after a friend who had bought the new iPhone 4S told her that she was the voice of Apple's Siri assistant. A recent study says that the ideal age to get married and have a lot of babies is 26 years old. They say that people who marry at this age have the lowest divorce rates, highest marital satisfaction, and better long-term stability compared to those who marry earlier or later. They say you're mature enough to make informed decisions, but young enough to have the energy and biological advantage for childbearing.
There is absolutely nothing that can convince me that this is not a two-way mirror in the kitchen. And that's a listing photo from this property that was recently for sale in Pennsylvania. Here's another view of it from outside, just for good measure. And then this is what you see as soon as you walk in. A mirror in the kitchen, not one, but two. And while I don't think this one is a two-way mirror, it still just seems unnecessary to have this in the kitchen, especially when it's facing another mirror. Isn't that bad feng shui? Now, at first glance, I thought that these were drag marks, which we have seen in prior listings, but it becomes abundantly clear as you begin to look at more listing photos that this was caused from a hoarding issue, which makes it all the more upsetting when you see evidence of children living in this space. While I must admit that the pink bathtub is kind of a vibe, what's not a vibe is this room. This room fills me with an overwhelming sense of dread. I can't tell you what happened here. Maybe it was nothing, but whatever it is, I don't like it. Am I alone in this, or is anyone else feeling what I'm feeling?
Africa. How is that house worth $40,000, man? The housing market is insane, bro.
Once a new world map, calling the current one the world's longest misinformation campaign. This week, the African Union officially backed what's called the Correct Map campaign, which aims to replace our current standardized world map with a version that shows a country's true size. You see, the Mercator map intentionally distorts the sizes of continents and countries for navigation purposes. So it appears that Africa is a similar size to the US or China, when in reality it is so much bigger that the US, China, India, Japan, and much of Western Europe can all fit into Africa, and there still would be space left over. The African Union says that this over 500-year-old map is outdated, and are now calling for schools, governments, and international institutions to adopt images that reflect a country's true size. They propose the Equal Earth projection because they say this is so much more than just a map. It's about Africa's identity and pride. In fact, the head of a campaign group backing this says it's the world's longest misinformation and disinformation campaign, and it simply has to stop. But the question is, what do you think? Does size truly matter, or is the current map fine the way it is?
I don't think they're gonna try to change it.
Live every day as if it's your last, because one day it will be. That statement holds true for these two influencers that were doing a food review sitting in a restaurant when all of a sudden their lives almost changed forever. If you haven't seen the video, it is a little shocking, so viewer discretion is advised. Take a look at this. Bon appetit. Enjoying their food in the restaurant. Wait for it. SUV crashes right through the restaurant where they're recording their food review. Just look at that in slow motion, how dramatic and scary that had to be for both. Thank goodness the two of them walked away with just minor injuries. It could have been the end for both. Nina Unrated and Patrick Blackwood are known for their food reviews all over social media. They're two incredibly great people, and we are grateful that they're both still with us today. This is the moment right here that possibly could have changed their lives forever. As I said at the beginning of this video, Live every day as if it's your last, because one day it will be. And we are grateful that these two are with us today to give us another food review. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Gotta live it up, man. You never know.
How you feel about this now abandoned indoor water park that had a giant T-Rex in it in Scotland, by the way. Like, just knowing that this water park is still there, but abandoned, probably completely closed off to the public, in the complete darkness, possibly still with water in it, who knows, with this giant T-Rex in it. Also, why does it have, like, the B word in its mouth? The red stuff. What? Oh my goodness, I just noticed that. There's also this guy there.
It's a dragon.
For some reason. That is equally horrifying. The shape of it looks like a pipe. I don't much care for him and his creepy teeth. It was called the Time Capsule, and here's it when it was, like, going, and once again, in Scotland, like this, there's a wave pool back here, so there's the ones with the grates, and oh my goodness. Also, this looks like something straight out of the back rooms. I don't like this whatsoever. Who wants to go on the launch pad of doom? They also had a giant water slide Ussie in there. Why? More backrooms coated area. The fact that this is all abandoned now is just sickening. But especially that T-Rex. Imagine going down this little slide and just being in front of this T-Rex in water. Why would they do this?
Did you go to that part? Give me your answer. I am crazy for the love of you. I was married. I can't afford the marriage. But you sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for.
Or should I pop out right there?
I don't think y'all understand. You cannot fucking make this shit up, y'all. We now have fucking squirrels with warts. Oozing warts. Oozing warts. They're calling them zombie squirrels. So we just had fucking rabbits with horns or tentacles growing out their face, their head. Now we got zombie squirrels? Look at this shit. They're calling this disease fibromatosis that squirrels have. Once again, y'all, I have never heard of this shit. I've never seen no fucking squirrel having this shit on their skin either. And I don't want to see it. Imagine you in your backyard and you just see an army of squirrels with this on their body running at you and shit. And the fucking Jones just start popping and oozing out shit. What is you doing? I know what I'm doing. Grabbing that motherfucking... Once again, y'all, wildlife experts said you shouldn't be concerned about this stuff. It doesn't spread to your animals or to you or to anybody you know. And once again, when they say that shit, I still be alarmed like, you saying it, but what if it do spread to me? Now I got big ass warts all over my body, nigga. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Is this new to you? Have you heard about this before? Let me know. And if you seen this in your backyard, what are you doing? And if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you.
It is literally going to disappear in 2 days' time. If you didn't get a chance to see the meteor shower that's extremely rare, then make sure you watch this and share this with someone. This is actually even rarer, and it will not happen again until 2027 or 2028.
Okay.
This is known as the Black Moon, and we will literally be getting a Black Moon. Although this sounds scary, it's not, and it will be a chance for you to see some pretty insane things if the sky is clear. This is the third new moon of the season, which actually makes it a black moon, which is very rare. As I say, it's estimated to happen again in 2028 or 2027. It happens when it's in the new moon phase, as I say, and the illuminated side is actually facing away from Earth, meaning it's completely invisible to us. So wherever you are, you won't even be able to see the moon. It will just vanish, and you'll probably look up and go, what the hell, even if it's a clear night. Although you won't actually see anything, you're going to be able to see something else. With no light source, the sky will be so dark, making it a perfect opportunity to see the stars, stargaze, see comets passing, whatever else is up there. You don't often get a chance like this, so if you can get out of a city to somewhere with little light pollution, you're going to see some pretty crazy things.
What's going on these days? This kid just admitted to killing his mother while she was asleep because she took his phone away. To be honest, this isn't even a kid. This is a grown man. He's 21 years old, got mad at his mother that she took his phone, killed her. Now he's gonna spend 30 years behind bars because of this. He was 16 years old at the time when he came home from a night shift and shot his mom, you know. Instead of giving the phone back, she went upstairs and she just went to sleep, you know, she took the phone away, whatever. But instead of sneaking in the room and getting a firearm and stuff like that and shooting your mom, why don't you just sneak in the room and grab the phone and just go downstairs? That would have solved two issues right there. You know, he would be going to jail and he would have had his phone back. He then called his girlfriend to say he found his mom covered in blood in the bed, you know, acting like he didn't do it. You know, the girlfriend's dad came over, saw that she was dead, and then the guy's stories just did not match up whatsoever. Eventually, he was just like, screw it, you know, he admitted to killing her after a while. Because he was a juvenile, too, at the time, that's why he probably didn't get a life sentence or, like, you know, the death penalty if they have that where they're from in Tennessee. But this is such a senseless case.
Here's some
over a phone,
examples
really?
Of the Mandela effect, part 4. Do you remember sitting at your TV as a kid and seeing this come on?
No, you unk status if you did though. Looney Tunes, the OG.
Most people will recall this being spelled like this. However, this was never the case. It was always spelled as tunes, not tunes.
If you bought or plan on buying Great Value shrimp, you better think twice about it. So the FDA is warning the public not to eat, serve, or sell Walmart's Great Value shrimp. And they're telling you this because it got contaminated with a radioactive substance. You heard what I just said? Walmart could be possibly selling radioactive shrimp. So apparently they detected these radioactive shrimp before they crossed the border. And if you didn't know, they were coming from an Indonesian distributor. And what they're saying this means is that none of these radioactive shrimp made it across the border. Or did they? But hear this out. This shit is becoming real convenient. First you have radioactive bees. Now you have radioactive shrimp. Now they're saying that all products are gonna be banned from coming into the United States from this company. But what company are they talking about? Are they talking about Great Value? Or are they talking about the Indonesian company that they was getting the shrimp from? Think about it as this. Great Value is a cheap option. People usually like to get the cheap option. Is this the only time we're going to have to worry about a situation like this? Radioactive shrimp? What's next? I'm out.
He's spitting, bro. Everybody, man, when it comes to that price range, bro, they were always going to go for the cheaper option. I wouldn't eat freaking buy seafood from freaking Walmart like that anyway. That's just not me, man. But when you got radioactive shrimp, radioactive freaking hornets, man, what's going on this year, bro? There's a lot of radioactive activity.
Ever heard of Skinny Bob?
This is scary. It sounds scary.
It's a little spooky. Skinny Bob was this random video posted by this channel, Ivan0135 on YouTube. And this video was posted 11 years ago. But in this video, a collection of videos from 1942 to 1969 of interviewing an alien. The crazy thing about this Ivan0135 dude, never monetized the videos, never came out and said who it was. So you look at that and you think that does kind of look like it'd be CGI or something, right?
Yeah.
It's been tested by studios and it has not been discredited yet.
Ever?
They said the way that it was filmed, because it was filmed on like one of those old cameras.
Yeah.
They said it was completely accurate with an old camera. The theories are that it was a real government film. Some believe that it's connected to the Majestic 12 group. That's basically what we would call the Men in Black now.
Okay.
But it's a group of like different
division of that, the CIA.
Government,
that just focuses on that.
Some believe that was actually from the KGB too. No one's taking credit for it either.
Maybe that was the whole thing. It's like, I can't put my name on this, but I can put it out.
It's insane.
Now, of course, Google will tell you these inventors were nothing but con men, liars, frauds, or just scientists with great ideas who didn't know any better. It will also tell you 0 point energy is impossible, and anyone who stands up for it or even talks about it is attacked or shamed for spreading misinformation. Google debunkers. Compliant NPCs who believe they can irrefutably debunk any extreme claim with a 5-second Google search truly are the downfall of society. The modern-day version of Vladimir Lenin's useful idiot. Google debunkers. Love you guys. You're not allowed to talk like that. You present your theories as if they are fact.
Morbid Facts, Part 702. Carlos Haffy Rodriguez was ejected through a windshield in a drug-fueled crash as a teenager, smashing his skull so badly that surgeons had to remove the entire upper half of it, leaving his brain covered only by skin. Incredibly, he survived without any severe cognitive damage, but went on to rack up arrests for drugs, arson, and other crimes, his caved-in head becoming one of the internet's most infamous mugshots. Here's a photo of tobacco company CEOs declaring under oath that nicotine is not addictive. The moment became infamous when internal documents later revealed that tobacco executives had known for decades about nicotine's highly addictive properties and had even manipulated nicotine levels in cigarettes to enhance dependency. In 18th century Europe, the wealthy often devoured sugar with no real dental care, rotting their teeth into black stumps that often fell out. To keep up appearances, they wore dentures, not wooden as legend claims, but often filled with real human teeth. These were bought from the poor, pulled from slaves or prisoners, or scavenged from battlefields, sometimes still bloody from fallen soldiers. With no concept of sterilization, they could carry infections, even syphilis, into the wearer's mouth. In advanced cases, the disease could slowly eat away at the face, collapsing the nose and leaving a grotesque hollow mask where features used to be.
So they
Your nicotine fact was insane.
Me taking the natural process away, I don't too much like that. What make this more interesting is look who's behind this project. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this video in the comments on what y'all think about them just making food poof out of thin air from a machine. In the comments, like or follow for more wisdom, and stay tuned.
People are now mad at Jenna Ortega after what she just said on the newest red carpet for Wednesday Season 2, and people are not happy with Jenna's response. So after Jenna Ortega was at a Wednesday red carpet in South Korea, after people are saying that Jenna Ortega was giving an interviewer a hard time, and even more worse, so this is all coming after some strange behavior that Jenna has been doing on the other Wednesday red carpets. They're saying that she is being shy one moment, then happy the next, as well as other moments where she has been crashing out on fans that have been asking for autographs, with a lot of people saying that there seems to be something wrong and that all of this drama in South Korea makes everything so much more worser. And this is where it gets even more insaner. So what happened is that on the red carpet in South Korea, where a magician was doing a magic trick to Jenna Ortega, the magician asked her what kind of card that Jenna Ortega had, and her response was spade. And seemingly the magician asked her if she could repeat what she said, and then Jenna was seemingly not happy that she had to repeat herself, and the way that she said spade the second time, should people really be mad over this?
So this guy drags a magnet across sand on a beach and picks up a bunch of heavy metals, and you'll actually see him melt down these metals, and it's interesting what you see at the end here. Perhaps aluminum, you know, something that they admit that they're spraying in the skies. Look at this, he melts it, takes some water. Where do you think this is coming from, guys? Where do you think these heavy metals are coming from?
3D printed steak is here. Let me show you this, and after I do, I'll tell you why it's not so great.
A juicy, sizzling steak made by computer. While obtaining regular meat is a process that's been taking place for millennia, cow, butcher, beef, Redefined Meat, a meat alternative startup out of Israel, makes their product using a highly technical process. The mix of soy and pea protein, chickpeas, beetroot, nutritional yeast, and coconut fat is formed into steak-like shapes using a 3D printer.
Our goal is to become the largest meat company in the world just by harnessing technology instead of animals.
Meat substitutes are not new, but unlike the soy-based crumbles that mimic ground beef, Redefined Meat's product is designed to act, taste, and cut with Happy.
The texture feels right. Even the smell smells like the real thing. Really authentic for me.
Now, I'm not going to talk about that company at all. But if somebody else is making 3D printed meat, how can we possibly know what's really in it? Especially if it tastes like the real thing. There's this stuff called microplastics that's become so prevalent from all the stuff that people have made with plastics that it's being found in human tissue. Who's to say some company making 3D printed meat couldn't accidentally put some of that in there? Look, I'm gonna keep eating the way I do, cause I'm old, fat, and the damage is done for me. But to the younger people out there, I say, please be cautious. Cause after stories like this, you never know what you're really eating. Shabadobushkis!
The most disturbing cults in history, part 5.
Talk about it.
Australia's most notorious cult ran in secrecy by a yoga teacher who believed she was the reincarnation of Jesus, fed LSD to children, and wanted to create the master race. Buckle up because this one is quite the story. Born in 1921, Anne Hamilton Byrne grew up outside of Melbourne, Australia. When she was young, her mother died in a mental hospital, and her father wasn't too keen on being a single parent, so she bounced around to different orphanages. Later in life, she had a child and lost her husband in a tragic car accident. That is when she took up yoga and began teaching it in the city. In the 60s is when mysticism and Eastern religion began to make their way west, and a lot of people were very interested in it. During one of her yoga lessons, she met physicist Dr. Raynor Johnson. He referred to Anne as the wisest, serenest, most gentle, gracious soul he had ever met. Together, they began using LSD and started to recruit members into the cult, which was known as the Family. They used Johnson's property right outside of the city of Melbourne as their headquarters where they held weekly meetings. They spread a mishmash of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christianity. Another large outlet for new recruits was the New Haven Hospital, which was mostly ran by members of the family. Many of the patients at the New Haven Hospital they treated with LSD. She easily became a multi-millionaire funded by the cult members. She got everything she wanted from the cult members: homes, cars, money, and eventually even children. When the 1970s rolled around, 28 children became members of the family. Some were offsprings of members, others were falsely adopted, and some even stolen. With such powerful people working for the family, such as doctors and attorneys, anything was possible for them to acquire. All of the children were told that Anne was their biological mother. Their identities were completely changed and they were given fake birth certificates. She dyed all of their hair blonde, changed all of their last names to Hamilton Byrne, all to convince them that they were related. She kept the charade going by wearing homemade smocks to fake her pregnancies and told the members of the family that they would survive the end of the world and become the new master race. Anne, along with her husband Bill, were the unquestioned leaders of the cult. Beatings were commonplace to children who stepped out of line, and they were given daily doses of Valium to keep them docile. This continued on until they reached the age of 14. That is when a bizarre initiation ritual was done. They would be given an insanely large dose of LSD and locked in a room alone. They would only be seldomly visited by Anne or one of the cult psychiatrists. As you can imagine, this had long-lasting impacts on all the children and cult members. When screaming would be heard by neighbors and police were summoned to the property, the children were instructed to hide and cram into this tiny hole. Her only role was do everything she says. The family's motto was unseen, unknown, unheard, and they had little contact to the outside world. It wasn't until 1987 when a 14-year-old girl named Sarah Moore was expelled from the group for not behaving and went right to police. Police raided their headquarters on August 14th, and all the children were placed in protective custody. As for Anne and Bill, they fled the country. For 4.5 years, they hid in upstate New York before finally being extradited back to Australia. Despite a massive investigation, raids on the property, they spent little to no time in jail. In the end, they only had to pay 3 $5,000 fines for falsifying 3 of the birth certificates. Like, that is it. After destroying so many lives, that is it.
Really?
Unfortunately, on this one, no justice was served, and Anne spent her last years suffering from dementia in a Melbourne nursing home. She died at the age of 98 in 2019. Perplexing.
That's crazy, Seekers, man. They did all that, and all they had to pay was a $5,000 fine. 3 $5,000 fines. Really? There was no justice in that case, just like you said. Man. That's a head turner.
Part 1. In 2008, an Australian couple named Julian and Carolyn were kidnapped by a satanic cult. Members of the cult threw them in a van and drove them deep into the forest where they were stripped, blindfolded, tied up, and abandoned. Convinced
that they would die, Julian suggested that the couple get married under the eyes of God and consummate their relationship. After a week of wandering through the woods, the couple finally made it back to their hometown. Julian was immediately arrested and found guilty of staging the entire thing. These animals thought they were dead.
That's different, man.
In 2015, Goliath, a young cow rescued from a dairy farm, surprised everyone. After being nursed back to health with bottle feeding, he formed an unlikely bond with a sibling, a Great Dane. Shockingly, Goliath began mimicking dog-like behavior. He attempted to nurse with the Great Dane, lounging on the family's couch and even tasting dog food. And in 2016, Hannah Simpson from New Zealand, unable to afford a horse, chose to treat a cow from her family's farm as one. Lilac was trained to act like a horse. Impressively, Lilac could even clear a 5-foot jump, but only when in the mood. And in 2019, Pusha, a cat, became an unexpected mother to 4 orphan squirrels. With a bit of human help, the squirrels began to warm to Pusha. And this interspecies family melted heart when Pusha started to care for the squirrels as her own. And in 2016, Nano, a woman, firmly believed she was a cat trapped inside a human's body. Her story was shared on a Norwegian YouTube channel, where she showcased her cat-like behaviors and tendencies.
Let me just ask
Human cat?
There is something wrong with the picture that I'm going to show you. This one is really interesting. So the information I could find on the photo is that we think it was taken by a realtor. He had gone alone to basically inspect a home that was foreclosed on that he was about to put on the market. The bottom of this photo is that if you look at it really closely, you're like, the photo is kind of blurred, like it was taken in motion, because in the background there is something very wrong. Quickly before we get into it, thank you so much for all of the support for my podcast, Creep Time the Podcast. You don't even know how to process being top 10 in the country. That is incredible. If you have not listened, go click the link in my bio. Seen in the background of that photo, it was very clear that he was not alone in that basement. Although he claimed he didn't see anything, he just got a strange feeling, so we kind of took the photo and then rushed out of the room. But this person was confirmed to not be the homeowner. So who was hiding out in that basement?
Smart. He felt a different presence and he left.
Are your toys alive?
What did I just walk into?
Toy Stories confirmed.
Would you have a robot made?
Nah, I don't trust it.
Gotta be careful here.
She baiting in it?
Well, that puts an end to my tarpon fishing. Wow.
He getting closer.
Get back.
He say menace, man. Hit the jets. Where's
Here's
it?
some websites that are insanely useful and you need to know about. TheTrueSize.com. This website essentially shows you the true size of every country. Right here, it looks like Canada is double the size of the US, right? But that's just not true. Next we have Archive.org.
Okay.
It's essentially a giant archive of free books, movies, everything is mostly on here. 1AAuto.com. This one essentially gives you all of the information for your car that you will ever need. All you gotta do is put the year, make, and model of your car. Then it'll give you every spare part compatible with your car. But not only does it give you the correct parts to buy, it also gives you videos on how to replace everything. Next, we have Copycat.com. This website will essentially give you all of the food recipes for every item that you love. So like Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets, they got it! Once you're at this page, you're gonna click on search for recipe, we'll type in Chick-fil-A, and it gives you a step-by-step recipe on how to make the nuggets yourself. GG.deals. This website essentially shows you the best deals that you can get on games right now.
Gruesome facts you didn't know, part 241.
Interesting sights.
In 1968, radical feminist Valerie Solanas entered the office of famous artist Andy Warhol carrying 2 guns. When she entered, she proceeded to shoot Andy Warhol along with London Art Gallery owner Mario Amaya and then left the building. 2 of her bullets tore right through Andy's stomach, liver, spleen, esophagus, and both of his lungs. He survived but was forced to wear a surgical corset for the rest of his life just to hold his organs in place. Hours later, Valerie turned herself into police, was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic, and served 3 years in jail. Previous to the shooting, she founded an organization called SCUM, the Society for Cutting Up Men, where she envisioned a world without men. She believed that Warhol was trying to steal one of her play manuscripts when actually he had just misplaced it. For weeks prior to the shooting, she made calls and threats to his office repeatedly asking about the manuscript. The shooting only intensified Andy's fear and loathing of hospitals and doctors. Sadly, on February 21st of 1987, he suffered cardiac arrest following a gallbladder surgery, a procedure he delayed for several years because of his fear of hospitals.
Animals are scary.
Oh, man.
Look what this man found in his basement.
Hotel room and immediately see this. You see that line under the door? What is this?
Ooh. Secret room?
Service. Smuggling zone? What is this?
Smuggling
This
something.
is a hotel. Let's stick it all the way in. What the fish that?
Do these look familiar to you?
The Jason mask, what the hell?
Can you imagine giving your boyfriend one of your organs and then he ends up cheating on you? It's happened a while back, but I thought we'd talk about it because there's a lesson to be learned here. In 2015, Colleen Lay met this man who later became her boyfriend, and after dating for a little bit, he immediately told her about this kidney disease that he was struggling with. Obviously, she really cared about this guy and really wanted to help him, so she went to get tested to see if she was a kidney match with him. She said that seeing him with his condition and how much he was suffering made her want to really help him and see what she could do. Turns out that they were a perfect match, and the operation was scheduled a few months later, and she gave him her kidney. But only 7 months later, her boyfriend went to Vegas with a group of friends for a bachelor party, and he cheated on her. Now, Colleen was obviously heartbroken and she felt betrayed, but she really loved this guy and decided to give him another chance. But then 3 months later, this man broke up with her and completely ghosted her. I always thought the story was fake because how does someone have the audacity? Then he used the God card on her and said that if God wanted them to be together, then they would. And then he got married to another woman. Despite all this, Colleen said that she does not regret her decision and she would do it all over again.
This pastor is being accused of
person.
his own wife. This case is currently ongoing, but it's been so highly suggested, so this is what we know so far. On April 28th, Pastor John Paul Miller made the shocking announcement at the end of his church service that his wife then asked everyone to leave quietly and not discuss his wife's death. Micah's family and friends do not believe this cause of death and have taken to social media with the hashtag Justice for Micah. John Paul also wrote Micah's obituary, where he talked mostly about himself, not even Micah, who was the one that passed away. He also painted their marriage as like a perfect relationship, which is really odd considering that Micah filed for divorce and a restraining order against her husband only days before her passing. In the weeks prior to Micah's passing, she was sharing on Facebook about abusive relationships and really just hinting that something wasn't right. A friend of Micah's has come out and confirmed that Micah told her that there was abuse in the marriage, and also that church funds were being used for things not church related. And since, more friends and family of Micah have come out with similar accounts. Also been some speculation that John Paul was having an affair, a years-long affair with this woman that he's been seeing in the days before and the days after Micah's death. That woman's husband also passed away in a really suspicious way, but that's just online speculation for right now. The investigation is currently ongoing, so hopefully we have answers really soon. But in the meantime, make sure to leave all your thoughts, theories, questions, and case suggestions in the comments for me.
Lots
These are facts that will make your skin crawl, part 1.
Up first, did you know that women can actually give birth after death? It's extremely rare, but it's called coffin birth. Up next, everybody has definitely heard of the 5-second rule and probably applied it in your life at least once.
Never.
But did you know in those 5 seconds, minor insects can still crawl on your food after you drop it on the floor, pick it up, and then eat it? Up next, if a black cat looks at you and then suddenly runs away, it means that something unusual is about to happen to you. So if this happened to you recently, then I recommend just staying in your room and not leaving. Finally, did you know that a cockroach can live 9 days without its head before it starves to death? This is absolutely crazy, and as weird as this sounds, I have to see it to believe it.
We don't do cockroaches around here, man, but I believe it.
This book was so disturbing and intense that I am literally legally not alive on this earth anymore.
They got him. He's dead.
And I mean that quite literally. My obituary is in this book. Aaron Beauregard once again was very kind enough to not only send me a free copy of the Obituaries Red Bromance, including another one of his latest novels, Life of Crime, which we're going to get to very soon, but the dude has legally ended my existence in the coolest and weirdest way possible. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I always thought it was going to be my wife. 6th issue of the Obituary series, Red Romance, with all different short stories written by C.B. Hunt, Aaron Beauregard, Christopher Triana, and also Daniel J. Volpe. And yes, my friends, we are back into the realm of splatterpunk, because this is not for your average viewing pleasure. Or for some people, it might be. Ew. Aaron, dude, you are so fucking cool for this. So seriously, dude, thank you. And if y'all are absolutely dying to get the latest copy of the Obituaries, you can pick up your very own at obitshorror.com.
The man behind me is
I don't
the
need that
real-life
energy in my
human
life.
Dracula. His name is Tsutomu Miyazaki. He was born with a deformity that fused his wrists with his hands, so he was bullied a ton growing up. Then one day, later on in adulthood in 1988, something snapped in him. He started abducting little children, specifically little girls, and engaging in necrophilia. He would strangle his victims to death and then engage with their corpse. He would even go as far as removing some of their body parts like their hands and feet and even their teeth. One way that made him also very similar to Jeffrey Dahmer, he would pose these bodies in different ways and photograph them. On one of his last instances before he got caught, he drank the blood of a little girl. And then right after that, he ate her hand. One day he was at the playground trying to take pictures of more little kids, and the father intervened and stopped him. So Mr. Dracula behind me fled on foot, naked, and was caught by the cops later on. That's when they discovered his disturbing collection of photos and body parts inside of his apartment. However, he blamed it on his alter ego named the Rat Man.
No.
They were not playing any games with this guy. They immediately sentenced him to death. The government hung him on June 17th of 2008. Let me know what you guys think about the Rat Man or Dracula in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
Yeah, 2 alter egos,
specifically
pure evil.
It has to start with this photo. This was the final picture found on the camera roll of Janine Oswald. Janine is the girl who's here on the right, and her friend Tess is on the left. Tess had dared Janine to go into the Silo House. Hard to find a picture of this place, but it's basically off campus of Missouri State, and it's a very common thing that people would dare other people to go into this place, which Janine did. But she never came back out. So as the story goes, police eventually came, where they found her body completely mutilated inside the Silo House. But specifically, they found her phone. Now, this was the final picture that was taken on that camera roll, but it's maybe not as sinister and paranormal as you might think. Police actually believe this was a diversion tactic. Think of it like a person or maybe a mannequin that's planted to distract you while somebody else comes out and does something worse. It's never found by the time police search the building, so it's become a haunting relic of the final moment before something horrific happened to her.
Man, Seekers, those truth and dares, bro, they can get really, they can push it to the limit sometimes, man. If I seen a house like that, you dare me to go in there, I don't care what you say, I ain't going. It ain't worth it, man.
Chris Brown and Live Nation are being sued for $50 million after 4 concertgoers at his 11/11 tour were violently assaulted at one of his shows.
Whoa.
Following Brown's concert on July 19th at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas, 4 men, Larry Parker, Joseph Lewis, Charles Bush, and DeMarcus Powell, were invited into the VIP area of the arena. They grew tired of waiting to meet Chris Brown, so they ended up leaving. While leaving near the exit, Bush congratulated Brown on his set, and that's when one of Brown's crew allegedly yelled about them having argued. The men left the area, and they were allegedly followed by 7 to 10 of Brown's crew. When they tried to leave, they were attacked, and this attack was allegedly unprovoked. Brown and 3 others, quote, brutally and severely beat the 4 men. Brown allegedly told one of his accomplices to F Parker up. Parker was then attacked for over 10 minutes. Both the victims needed medical treatment, with Parker being hospitalized for his head injuries. The lawsuit also claims that Live Nation, Brown's concert promoter, continued their relationship with him despite his history of bad and violent conduct. The suit says Live Nation, quote, shamelessly profits and promotes Brown's The 11/11 tour and brought Brown to Texas for financial gain. The plaintiffs are asking the court for compensatory and punitive damages in excess of $50 million, in addition to actual damages that include pain and suffering, disfigurement, mental anguish, and past, present, and future medical expenses. This isn't the first time Chris Brown has faced legal issues like this. In 2009, he pleaded guilty to assaulting his then-girlfriend, Rihanna. He has faced several other physical and SA accusations, most recently in 2023. This lawsuit demands Brown's unprovoked violence to be stopped. One of the co-defendants has denied his involvement, and the Fort Worth police are asking for anyone with any information about the attack that happened at the concert to come forward. This is still kind of lingering in the court system, so we will see where it goes and if Brown ends up settling or going to court. But in the meantime, he has continued on his tour.
If it was at the tour, wouldn't it be like cameras so you can see the angles of stuff if that was true? I don't know if they hiding that footage or something, but for 50 million smackaroonies, that's a lot of money, man. Whew.
999, what is your emergency?
Yeah, all good, thanks.
Hello?
No, just been out for a few drinks. Everything alright?
You're currently calling 999. Hello? Are you in danger in any way?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I see. I understand. Are you able to speak freely?
No, not right now. Sorry, Mum.
Okay. Where are you right now?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Can you see any street signs? Are you able to give me a location?
I don't know. There's an IKEA down here.
Okay.
Sorry, Mum. What were you saying?
That's a good line, Mark. Is there anything else that you can provide?
I think you left that at the house.
At the house?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I understanding it right that they're taking you to their house? Is that correct? Okay.
Alright, Mum, I'm gonna have to let you go now, I think.
That's okay. Okay, we're still working on locating you, so don't worry, we'll be on our way.
Alright, I will. Yeah.
She stole $1.5 million in chicken wings and was sentenced to 9 years in prison. While some people think that this punishment is completely justified, others think that it's a bit too much. I think people feel bad because they look at this photo and realize that she is older and think that maybe she needs this food to eat. But who's really gonna eat $1.5 million in wings? So this is about 68-year-old Vera Liddell, and she worked for the school district, and her job was to place orders for various schools in Illinois. In July 2020, when COVID was at its peak, students began learning remotely, but the schools decided that they wanted to continue providing meals for the students. Vera thought that it would be a good idea to order case after case of chicken wings using the school district's account, and she did this for 2 years without anyone realizing. She ordered a total of 11,000 cases of chicken wings between 2020 and 2022, and rather than this food going to students, surveillance footage showed Vera picking up the wings in the school's cargo van, and then she took them home. And the only time the school noticed that this was going on was when they decided to do an audit and realized that they were $300,000 over their annual budget. It's not confirmed what Vera did with all these wings. I'm pretty sure she didn't eat them all, but it's assumed that she probably resold them and made profit. But the internet is pretty divided on this, and some people don't think it's a big deal that she stole $1.5 million in chicken wings, while others think that she should be punished because not only did she steal so much money, but she took resources away from students. But someone who does support this woman's actions and actually offered to pay the $1.5 million to get her out of prison was this man named Chris Jones, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. He recently tweeted that he will pay the entire amount if they let her free. What do you guys think about this?
So about...
What do you guys think on that one, Seekers? That one's like a divided case. She stole wings. There was $1.5 million worth. Some people think he has just wings, so it's not really that bad. But like I said, it took resources away from kids. But Chris Jones, man, is offering to pay the amount. So thoughts down below.
1 week ago, 3 little girls were murdered in a dance class by a teenager, and 10 others were injured. Of course, that teenager was arrested, but official sources never identified who this guy is exactly. There were several protests and riots in the UK across several cities in the country, and there was a mosque that was destroyed and burned down as a form of revenge because of what happened in Southport. About 1 day later after this incident, the government, the media, and the police have officially identified who the killer is. He's a teenager named Axel Rudakubana from Rwanda. That is a Christian, not a Muslim, a Christian. Are you gonna burn down a church now that you know he's a Christian? Is that the natural response we as people should have? Official sources confirmed who is the person behind this misinformation. And let me tell you, this is how dangerous misinformation can be. It can lead you to do the wrong things. The person behind this misinformation is Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is an anti-Islam activist. Most of the biggest platform he has is on X, Twitter. That was where he tweeted that this guy, the murderer, was a Muslim. And you know, because of his contribution to the misinformation, these riots happened. Innocent people were injured, and a mosque was burned down. I'm not sure if it was one or more than one. To be honest, I don't even know the guy. I just heard of him today. And from an official news site that said Tommy Robinson was the main contributor to the misinformation that led to these riots. People are so gullible in the UK. Really. I mean this with no offense, but you guys are. And it's really bad.